Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Brief.
It was his friends who saved his life. That's what a doctor from Rambam Medical Center in Haifa said when a 19-year-old was rushed into the emergency room after being electrocuted by a bolt of lightning. The young man and his friends were standing in an open field Sunday when the lightning came down and struck him. And his friends told medics the next thing that they knew, he was lying on the ground, unconscious and severely burned. Well, when he arrived to the hospital, he was connected to a respirator, and though the man is seriously injured, he's in stable condition. Meanwhile, however, in general, Israel's been hit with 24 hours of some crazy weather events. Flash flooding near Ashkelon and Kiryat Gat have wreaked havoc in the south, and firefighters saved at least 8 people who were stuck in cars on swamped roads. In fact, in Ashkelon alone, 6 people were pulled out of vehicles that became trapped inside an underground parking lot, one of whom was a pregnant woman. 15 electric bikers and 2 electric scooter riders have been killed in 2019. And in just the first 9 months of the year, at least 1,400 more people were injured in scooter and bike accidents. Well, the Tel Aviv municipality is now cracking down, launching an operation to enforce the rules. Police, city officials, and representatives from the Department of Transportation on Sunday began touring various parts of the city, stopping and sanctioning electric vehicle riders who either rode on the sidewalk or without a helmet. And in all, 64 police reports and 70 municipal reports were recorded. And 47 riders' electric vehicles were even confiscated. Officials reported to Ynet that the operation was intended to allow residents to walk the sidewalks without chaos and to send a message that, quote, "we want our sidewalks clean." Critics of the police action, however, point out to how initiatives to promote safer riding have not been put in place. Also, the supposed 140 kilometers of bike paths in the city are reported to be poorly planned, frequently ending and restarting in odd places, and often entangling with pedestrian walkways. The UK is set to vote in a historic and tense election Thursday, and British Jews are feeling torn, because it looks as though the vote is between Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his Conservative Party, which likely comes with an unpopular Brexit on the one hand, and then on the other hand, the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn, which poses the most opposition to Brexit, but is rife with allegations of anti-Semitism. Under Corbyn's leadership, accusation after accusation has come out against the Labour Party's tolerance and even promotion of anti-Semitic ideologies and groups. And several Jewish Labour MPs have even resigned from the party over their refusal to acknowledge and deal with the issue. Also, a 53-page report filed by the Jewish Labour Movement last week details several cases of hate speech against Jews, while the UK anti-racism watchdog is now conducting a formal investigation. But perhaps the most damning report comes from a new TPS exclusive. It alleges that one of Corbyn's largest support networks is managed from the Gaza Strip by Hamas affiliates, and that Hamas terror officials in Gaza and London are actively working to support Corbyn in the elections. Meanwhile, acts of anti-Semitism on the streets have also been increasing in the UK, with elderly citizens saying that the situation is reminiscent of how World War II started in Germany, and thousands of protesters are saying they've had enough. Huge crowds of demonstrators braved the cold in Parliament Square on Sunday to stand against the rising anti-Semitism in the country, and led by the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism, they say that Britain is better than this, and that this is our home, we have a right to feel heard and welcome, and we have a right to feel safe. Do you hear it? Can you hear the screaming agony? Well, of course not. It's coming from the grass. But according to researchers at Tel Aviv University, the grass is screaming, in a manner of speaking. And the plants nearby, maybe even some animals and insects, can probably hear it. A new study reveals that some plants emit ultrasonic clicks inaudible to the human ear when under life-threatening stress. And authors say that these findings can totally alter the way we think about the plant kingdom, which has been considered nearly silent until now. In fact, the results suggest that we can now learn a lot about the plant's condition by its sound, like whether or not it needs water or is otherwise stressed for some reason. So how was this discovery made? Well, previous studies show how plants can respond to stress by changing color, smell, and shape. So the researchers at TAU thought maybe plants can make audible ultrasonic sounds too, and the results looked tremendous. Choosing tobacco and tomatoes to study, the researchers allege that not only do the stressed plants emit more sound, they emit particular sounds based on the specific threats, meaning that interpreting these sounds can lead to better maintenance of plant health. All that said, though, the study is new and has yet to be published in a journal. It also has yet to be certified by peer review, so at least for now, it looks like we can keep eating our salads and vegetables guilt-free.
That's all for now, but for more news from Israel, remember to like ILTV on Facebook and on Instagram, and to subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.